Hello everyone and welcome back to Case White, the campaign for Poland. As you can see, we're on to the first turn now, which is the 1st of September 1939. So let's see what a mess the Germans have made. Oh, this is good. This is one of the options that you can enable during scenario selection, where Stalin has a chance to not stab the Poles and do the whole and get invaded from two directions. So we will, I think, get some more reinforcements later on in the scenario, which could be interesting. It does mean we need to hold out on the eastern side of the map a bit more. So that's quite good. I'm just going to grab a quick screenshot of that. And it's rain as well. Wow, that is not an auspicious start for the Germans. That is, wow, that is quite rough. Rain has a whole lot of negative effects, especially when the Germans are trying to sprint as far forward as possible in these early turns. And the British have sent an expeditionary force as well. So this is going to be an interesting campaign. I don't think I've ever fought one with this many sort of aids for the Polish. And here we go. We need to hold 11 victory points or inflict 10% losses on the Germans. And they have 23 days, which is, I think, 12 turns. I think each turn is 2 days. I will have to double check that. Right, let's have a look, see what we can see. Looks like encroaching Germans all over the place. So we'll go and have a look at the history. Right, so... oh dear, it is simply replaying my moves. That's interesting. Right, let's go see what the Germans are doing. Oh, we've got Spitfires, we've got British troops in Danzig. There's a lot of them. And it seems that the Spitfires aren't doing so well against the vastly superior numbers of German planes. Yeah, oh well. And perhaps not unexpectedly, we have Germans rushing tank units forward. Nothing too unexpected yet. Bunch of air recon, they're trying to spot our lines. I presume they expected us to be on the river line there. Okay, so we've stalled the tank units there slightly, that's good. They're really hitting us with these large numbers. And they're going to cut that supply line to the British, which, I do hope the British have some way of supplying themselves that doesn't orient from Warsaw, because otherwise they're going to starve to death quite quickly. That's interesting. There's two separate groups seemingly striking across to the north there. You can see the units have different colors. So I don't quite know what to make of that. It's possible they're doing a right hook around and attempting to run to panzers down that way. These are German Marines and reserve formations about to take on the British Expeditionary Force, which appears to be 3 or 4 divisions. So a significant amount. And we are dug in here with, this looks like motorized Germans, no actual tanks. And we're dug into the outskirts of the city, so they're not actually having much success. Yeah, more motorized units, Panzer Division. Okay, yeah, we're seeing a lot of mobile troops here, which isn't surprisingly, but they are throwing them further north than I would have expected. Yeah, a lot of motorized artillery. engineers. There we go. 19th Army. Yep, okay, nothing really unexpected here. Our skirmish lines are encountering them. They're charging through Kempin, which again, I apologize for my Polish pronunciation. The 8th Army is coming on hard here. The fight is going to be along the riverline of the Vilnius, something like that. Yeah, okay. Getting hit by artillery. Hopefully they'll manage to hold. Yeah, okay, that's quite a mass of German troops. We're going to really, really struggle to hold there. I would expect that river line to collapse quite quickly. They're really throwing a huge amount of troops straight down here. This is going to be interesting. I would predict that this is going to be a straight shot across the river and onto Warsaw. So I'm really hoping that BB Joey can blow the bridges here. He does have at least one engineer unit because this is under control of southern forces. Looking at the size of this hammer and the very large amount of mobile troops, I think this is going to be their main thrust. Defenders stood firm. It's quite unpleasant to attack cities, as the German player is now discovering. Wow, that is quite a fist. An armoured fist driving straight at the heart of Poland. It looks like we may have sussed out their strategy. Oh, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting quite so many mobile troops trying to force the mountain passes. Oh dear, we lost that first time. That's not great. Yeah, these mountain passes are incredibly unpleasant to battle through, especially with mobile infantry. So I'm quite surprised by the German player's choice to throw the 2nd Panzer and 4th Light Division, as well as the mountain infantry, straight, and looks like they may not even attempt the eastern pass, which is interesting. I think we've got the Polish 22nd and 2nd here. And oh no, so this is only a mountain brigade, but excellent. Yep, I think, oh, I don't know why he's deployed this engineer unit so far away from a bridge. But just looking at this, we've got 2 German divisions and another 2 mobile divisions here, which is, I wouldn't have expected that, to be honest. I would have, if it was me, I would have redeployed these further west and use them for a straight thrust. Anyway, let's have a look at the main issues that we're going to have. Zoom out to get a slight better look. This is the south, as you can see. So nothing in this half of the map really matters except to delay the Germans. Most of the victory points that you need to hold are in this region, the central region. And having a look up here, I'm thinking that there may be a significant German thrust straight along here to no, I'm not even going to try. Apologies, everybody. Interesting. Okay, there's a light Deutschland. That's quite a SS unit. That's quite a heavy. It's probably just recon. They should have only 4,000 troops in that. Okay, let's see. I'll leave this garrison unit there just to hold the city and make things unpleasant. Not a strong push through the middle here, which isn't perhaps surprising. There is the fort line there, as you can see. And that, combined with these swamps, means it is brutal terrain to fight through. Okie dokie. And yeah, we've got the main armored force coming through here. The 4th Army, artillery, motorized divisions, panzer divisions. I'm going to have to, I wonder. No, I do not think we have the, even though this unit is a bit out on its lonesome, If it was just tanks without infantry support, I could probably throw it back with a concerted attack, but I do not have the power to do that. Right. He hasn't crossed the river, which is interesting. It looks like he's throwing it down, a big thrust down to... Sorry, hotkeys are not responding. It's a bit worrying. Bit delayed. Bromberg, probably pronouncing it wrong. Looks like he's throwing quite a force at that in the hopes of taking it quickly, but we've got 2 Polish divisions in the city and the outskirts. Okay, and a quick look at the main thrust here. Wow, that is a absolute fist of German armored might. And one, two, eyeballing it, looks like 4 panzer divisions and 3 motorized. Maybe only 2 panzer divisions. But yeah, nothing that BB Joe has deployed on that river line will be able to hold that. So I'm going to have to reorient my defenses with the reserves, which is the unpronounceable Rizdis Smigli, whatever it is. Okay. Right, first things first, the Air Force. We have quite a lot of planes concentrated over here, and they're not going to be doing a lot of good yet. So I'm going to redeploy them to defend here. These are just little light bombs, aren't they? And those are the PZ-11 fighters. I'm just trying to remember where I've put all these. Troops. I better stack them up, to be honest. They're inferior to the Germans, and I've seen that they can throw hundreds of planes around at once. Looks like there's 2 there. And I think we might take this opportunity to hand over to the southern forces a pair of planes, just so BB Joey has something to play with in terms of planes. It shouldn't affect them. No, it doesn't appear to do that. And we shall use what we have to attack this probably motorized division that seems to have run out ahead of its support. Yes, well, it wasn't as effective as I could perhaps have hoped, but we hopefully have dissuaded them slightly. Okay, let me think. What are we going to have to do to firm up this line? Oh dear. Right, I'm going to take a moment to assess the rest of the situation, and we'll get back to you shortly. Okay, let's have a look at the British Expeditionary Force. After a little bit of testing, I have discovered that I'm pretty sure supply flows from the headquarters unit, so as long as anybody is attached, basically, we can draw supply, which is good because they're about to be cut off from the rest of Poland quite quickly. And how 4 divisions of troops managed to make it through the Baltic eludes me completely, but we're going for completely wild ahistorical stuff. So first off, let's shoot up some Germans. These are artillery, part of the division, so we'll... Wow, those are quite effective. They chopped into the German reserves and really did a number on their readiness. Next up, maneuver everybody for... No, I don't want to hand that one over, do I? And put the 6th, 9th, bit of everybody. As you can see, concentric bonuses in this game are key, so the fact that this unit's been attacked from 4 sides means it's going to get absolutely battered. Oops. Yeah, that's... Oh, that was brutal. The artillery plus that, it just means that... Yeah. Absolutely brutal. Okay, I'll leave the other section of the 8th Division. Actually, no, I'll stack them up a little bit more. The 6th can push out. They've even got some Vickers 6 very crappy light tanks. Wow, yeah, that's pretty useless. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers, and we are definitely the latter there. Okay, similar story. We will do an artillery attack on this guy. Chop him up as much as possible before pouring a good chunk of the 7th Division and some assistance from the 9th. Ooh, ouch, he panicked and ran away. Low quality German units, perhaps not particularly surprising. And we will chase him up and see what can be made of him. Wow, we completely shattered that unit. They really must not have been expecting that. Let's have a look, see if we can use our planes to hit this unit and then fold the corner of this formation slightly. Didn't really achieve very much, but whatever. Let's go. Okay, that's a bit too much. Slightly pull back the amount of attackers. And I think the GMZ are the Marines? German Marines? I'm not 100% on that though, so... Okay, let's try and maintain a fairly dense formation here. That's an artillery unit. Okay, we'll see if we can put enough power onto this. Oh yes, we probably can. Just slightly pull back so we're not overstacked too much. Yeah, these are, I think, fairly low quality German units. Yeah, we'll follow up that attack as well. How strange it's been on the offensive as Poland. Not quite sure what I make of this. We're going to remain cautious for now, because there is quite a lot of German units down here, which hopefully we will distract them. Yeah, okay. There are only so many divisions here, and there's, looking at the amount of counters, there's a fair few. Right, well that is good anyway. It's a quite unexpected bonus. And let me just make sure that... Oh, that's right, there's a Polish garrison unit there, so this 6th can actually move out, but where to? Straight forward, I think. Yeah, we will try and avoid getting too spread out. Excellent. Okay, that's the British taken care of. Let's go down here. Right, so I think we're going to want to fall back and consolidate the... Oh, no, sorry, I can't actually move them yet because I'm still on the first turn, which is the reserves. Okay, let's have a look at this. I suspect that we're going to have to wholesale abandon this whole flank because of the strength of the German move through here, which is accompanied by motorized units. Alright, that's okay. We can deal with that. Well, I think that means that we will want to redeploy. Let me just double check. S is the hot. Oh, you have to be on rail. So I will pull this Polish division back to cover what I can of this bridge line, rail line. I think they're okay there. Garrison unit, I may want to strategically transfer them. While I still can. We're not going to be able to stop armoured German units coming down here, so the next trick is going to be holding them at the rails. So we'll put him in. We'll put him now over there. As you can see, we have limited strategic transfer points per turn. So, right, there's a big thrust coming down this way as well. That is a bridge that we don't want to immediately abandon. I will make a little bit more of a defensive line. Okay, so these guys are going to... I think I'm going to have to abandon that and pull back to defend this river line. Right. And because of this whole mess down here, I'm also going to pull back... So, okay, that is a building, sorry, a city hex. Right, I'm going to have to identify, I think the 5th Division is, yeah, okay, the 5th Division is on marching duty. And gets sent down this way. So everyone does a bit of a shuffle, the 41st. Comes along that way, and the 41st Artillery will follow there. It looks like, yeah, okay. I'm going to shuffle the 12th now along to guard the bits here, and then that will free up BB Joey to send troops. Well, hopefully we'll free him somewhat to move these troops down. But yeah, this is a... Okay, yep, I'll put them forward in the city to stop them taking it and getting the bridge. Hopefully he's got an engineer unit there somewhere. Oh dear. Where do I have engineer units? Okay, I think that is my new plan. Which is try and counterattack. And they'll likely be using the flak. Okay, so the flak can be strategically transferred once it gets on the rails. Better than nothing, we don't have a lot of it. I'm hoping we're going to have some survivors falling back from here, so... Right, I will pull back the 19th Division as well. Not just yet for them. Where is the 4th piece of the 19th Division? That is a real question. And finally, the 3rd Legion Division, which is one of our best units, can move down a bit, and we'll do a little bit of shuffling. See, I don't want to pull too many troops off the line here and leave it weakened. That is a bit troublesome. These little units, the R behind it, are artillery units. Yeah, okay, I'm going to transfer the artillery and as much tanks as I can, as many tanks as I can, to try and repulse this, or at least make it difficult for them along here. Damn, I better start thinking about secondary lines. Just looking at the amount of Germans coming along that very small gap there, and the fact that we do not appear to have enough engineers in position to blow the bridges is just really bad news. Okay. Right, that is largely, I think, it for the reserves and a headquarters, which is going to quickly choose what cards to play. I think we have 22 political points. We only get a few per turn. And I'm going to buy 400 T-26 tanks from the Soviets, and oh, we can place them immediately. So what I will do is apologies while I find the right spot. I'll just quickly ID where that is. We want to deploy them at, yeah, I don't know how that's pronounced. Okay, so the 202nd, they have a very large amount of tanks, who I think will be best off being deployed to the LODS operational group. So I'm going to gift them to BB Joey. So he can deploy them in position with his line here. Hopefully it doesn't freeze them for a turn or anything foolish. And we've got another 12 points. We want to overall improve Polish morale. Because as you can see, it wasn't great. Now it's 50 points now, which is much more reasonable. The Germans run around with about 80. Yeah, but this has improved our morale from 35 to 50, which means they're a lot better at holding when they absolutely have to, and not breaking and running away, screaming about how the Germans are all going to kill them and that sort of thing. Okay, quickly looking down here. Doesn't look like we're in a huge amount of danger, so I'm going to bring these guys up. Hopefully he's got enough men to hold this line. I don't know. It's going to be tight. More tanks. God, they have a lot of tanks. It's probably worth noting that the tanks that you're dealing with are Panzer 1s and Panzer 2s, which are pretty crap. This is a 20 centimeter cannon that fires in 5-round bursts, and this just has a heavy machine gun. There's a few Panzer 4s, but these are assault tanks pretty much, 75mm short barreled, whereas coming up against a T-26, I think it's it's a Vickers 6-ton design. I think they have a 37mm cannon, so capable of fighting most German tanks of the early war and beating them quite handily. Okay, that's pretty much it. Let's go on to the next one. So I'm also the Northern Forces, so perhaps unsurprisingly, we've already seen all this. Alright. Let's have a look at what we're dealing with. Okay, motorized divisions probably trying to cross the river. I don't even have any engineers over here. That was perhaps a bit foolish. I can click to blow a bridge though. I wonder if that would work. Yeah, it's quite difficult. I think you need engineers largely to have much success. And it may drain your, drains half your action points for the turn, so it's not necessarily something you want to do unless you don't have a choice. So let's see if we can put some hurt on that German force with a lot of artillery. Counter battery fire, as you can see, makes it a bit painful. We even blew up a tank, which is nice. Yeah, a few Germans, 400 Germans, and a company? A platoon of panzers. Right, let's do what we can to shore up this line. I was a bit foolish. I should probably have retreated them, but now I can't because I shot off all the artillery. Whoops. Oh well. This is probably going to hurt. A slight mistake there, I think. Oh well. I will have to live with it because I don't really have much choice. On the upside, I can much more successfully blow this bridge here. Well, apparently I can't, even with my engineers. That's a bit unfortunate. Come on. Bridge destroyed, but now my engineers are out of action points. Bridge survives. I'm just going to do my absolute best to blow it with something. Yes, that's good. The HQ succeeded. Bridge destroyed. Okay, so the bridges are all dead, which is good. And basically we've slightly adjusted our skirmish line, but not too much. Essentially, bridges blown where we can. Units are in towns, marshes, etc., or this one fortified line. Further across, it's the same thing. We've got a skirmish line. We don't want to get into heavy engagements with these guys. It's just not a good idea. I think I have screwed up here because I ordered the artillery to fire at the Germans without thinking that that would render them unable to retreat. So we're going to have to make a stand against German armoured forces out in the open. So these two hexes at least are light urban, so they should at least prove somewhat difficult. This one's even got some flak in it, because 40mm Bofors will do a wonderful job against German armors, early German armour. Otherwise, I've just fallen back across the front. I tried to cut across and isolate these guys, but unfortunately there was a unit I didn't see in the fog of war. So the Pomorska Cavalry Brigade is dead. Unfortunate. These guys here blew up all their bridges, and they're just kind of sitting in the city. I'm just considering if it's quite dangerous to leave them here with the 10th Panzer Division sneaking around back. No, I'm sure they'll be alright for one more turn. Yeah, other places, bridges blown where they can be. I think I'll leave these guys in place for one turn and then fall back across that. I'm considering leaving these guys here, but it is quite difficult to dig troops out of cities, so anything that delays them is always a plus. Further down, as you can see, we've readjusted the line here and handed over these tanks to BB Joe, so I hope he puts them to good use, because you won't be getting many more of them. As you can see, we've got the R35, the weird little French infantry tank. They're moving down as fast as they can to support this section. And yeah, overall, we've done what we can, but things aren't looking great. Alright, let's go and have a look at the map. Yep, as you can see, apart from in the north there where the British are doing a good job of beating up some German, what is it, this is the 3rd Corps, 4th Army. No worries there, and similar story here. I think I will leave these guys in position just to make second motorized job that much harder. Yeah, overall, we have not had any disasters, but we didn't deploy very close to the front line, so It's skirmish positions all the way, and we're going to slowly collapse to, ideally, defend this kind of core section in the north, and see what happens to BB Joey in the south, because this is a thinner part of the Warta river, and the Germans are just coming hammering across it. Probably we're going to have to abandon this section and contract the line, try and defend around Lodz, but it's, as you can see, open terrain pretty much all to Warsaw, so if they get over there, bridges intact, we are in deep shit. I'm not, I mean, that isn't necessarily a normal move for the Germans. They usually try and swing it a bit further right up top here so they can meet their forces from the north, but it looks like two completely separate thrusts, one straight up here, which we were perhaps less prepared for than we should have been. I think it's going to be on me, that one, because I deployed too heavily in the north with the reserve forces. So yeah, it's up to the, what is it, the Lodz operational group to hold fast, blow up as many bridges as possible, and just pray that these tanks and the various supports that I'm shuffling down as fast as I can are going to be enough. Alright, thanks a lot everyone. I will now pass it on to BB Joey, and we shall hopefully have a new turn back for you soon. Cheers!